welcome back to Dancing with the Diva with the Diva herself. This episode we're going to be talking about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame night on Dancing with the Stars, so let's get into it. First we'll talk about is Dylan and Danielle. They did a jive to I'm Still Standing. I thought their costumes were very fun, very bubbly. They were definitely popped on the stage, which I liked. I give their costumes an 8 out of 10. I thought the dance was also definitely reflected their costumes. Very fun, very bubbly, very bright, very fun. Like, that's all you can really say. It was such a good time. I loved the slow-mo section. I think that's where he did his best work in his dance, was like the remix slow down section of the routine. I thought he excelled there personally. I do think that he might have been thinking about the move too much. He did talk about how he has his PTSD from his broken nose injury a couple weeks back, which makes sense, but I do think that he might have been thinking about the moves too much. Carrie Ann gave him an 8, Derek gave him a 9, the guest judge, Flavor Flav, gave him a 10, and Bruno gave him a 9. Just because I do think that he was still struggling with thinking about it too much, I'm gonna give him a 9. Next to discuss is Alex and Val. They did a paso doble to Living on a Prayer. I thought the costumes were the epitome of rock and roll. She looked fierce. The dark eyeshadow on both Alex and Val, 8 down. Give their costumes a 9 out of 10. Their dance, chills. I really got chills. No notes. She ate hard. He ate hard. There's honestly really not much more to say. Personally, I would give him a 10. Carrie Ann gave her a 10. Derek gave her a 10. Flavor Flav gave her a 9. And Bruno gave her a 10. This is when we knew. Honestly, maybe Dylan and Danielle's, but this is when we knew that Flavor Flav, it was going to be a rough night. Flavor Flav robbed Alex of a perfect score. We all know that that deserved all 10s, so I'm going to give her a 4th 10 here. And Flavor Flav, we need some words. Next to discuss is Andy and Emma. They did a contemporary dance to God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. I thought their costumes were very disco. I was obsessed with her dress, so they get an 8 out of 10 for costumes for me. Thought his dance was really cute, really sweet. There's only so much you can say about Andy. I love him dearly. He's scrumptious. I want to eat him up so bad. But the dancing, babe, a 7 is going to be the highest I can go, and that's really honestly generous. Okay, Carrie Ann gave him a 7, Derek gave him a 7, Flavor Flav gave him a 9, and Bruno gave him a 7. I'm going to have to agree with the other judges. I'm going to give them a 7. Next is Whitney and Mark. They also did a paso doble to No More Tears by Ozzy Osbourne. I was really actually obsessed with their costumes. I loved like the spider web all over her. Obsessed with that, so I give their costumes a 10 out of 10. Obviously, it was also very Ozzy. I thought that she was really on point. I thought it was really good. I think obviously the top 3 couples, Robert, Alex, and Whitney, all did a paso doble this week. I think that Alex probably definitely had the best one. Whitney is definitely like decimal points below that. So I think that she also did amazing. Yeah, so Carrie Ann gave her a 9, Derek gave her a 10, Flavor Flav gave her a 10, and Bruno gave her a 10. I'm also gonna have to give Whitney a 10. Next is Elaine and Alan. They did a Viennese waltz to What the World Needs Now. I thought the costumes were so Barbie glitz, so Barbie fashion fairy tale. If you know, you know. So I give their costumes a 9 out of 10. I thought the routine was so beautiful. It was so elegant. She honestly just graced across that floor. She looked so light, so flowy. It was everything. Carrie Ann gave her a 9, Derek gave her a 9, Flavor Flav gave her a 10, and Bruno gave her a 9. I'm going to give my girl a 9. I do think that she actually deserved it this week. Next is Jordan and Ezra. They did a jazz routine to River Deep Mountain High by Tina Turner, obviously. And obviously Jordan dressed up as Tina Turner because obviously. So I give their costumes an 8 out of 10. I thought she snapped. I thought he snapped. I thought he ate. She ate. The attitude was everything. The fierceness was everything. She just worked that room the entire time. So Carrie Ann gave her a 10. Derek gave her a 9. Flavor Flav gave her a 10. And Bruno gave her a 9. I'm going to give my girl a 10. I think she absolutely ate. And she really embodied the attitude that comes with Tina Turner. Last to discuss is Robert and Whitney. They also did a paso doble to Icky Thump. I loved the Spanish vibes, like the red and the, you know what I'm talking about? That was their vibe. Loved that. Give them an 8 out of 10 for costumes. I thought he was really good. Again, the top 3 couples did a paso doble. However, I do think that the other 2 were better than his. He's been killing the sexy vibe recently. Like, I love that he's tuning into that character and he knows that he's good at it and it's been paying off. So I'm glad that he's like putting out all the moves for that. Karen gave him a 9, Derek gave him a 9, Flavor Flav gave him a 10, and Bruno gave him a 10. Just because I think that the other two Paso Dobles were better, I am going to have to give Robert a 9. Okay, now we're going to talk about the group dances. I do feel conflicted between the two. I think Team Chicago did really well. I loved like the suit and tie vibe. However, I do think the choreography was kind of boring. I thought the technique was good. I thought everybody was in sync, and like on that part, like technically wise, yes, they did eat. However, I felt bored. I felt bored by it, and I'm not sorry. Okay, with Team Cool, I think the energy was there. I think they were having fun. They were just showing energy, and it was entertaining to watch. However, obviously they were not as in sync, as technical as Team Chicago, so I do think Team Chicago would win over Team Cool. Now, let's talk about elimination. Danielle went home? Y'all, what are we doing here? Because I said last week Andy needs to go home, and Andy has still not gone home, and I'm kind of confused. Justice for Danielle. This is actually absurd. I love it. I don't love it. I love Andy. But Andy cannot dance any longer. It's ruining the season, please. Thank you guys for joining this week's episode. Next week's episode, we're going to be talking about Dancing with the Stars birthday celebration. Thanks, guys.